High-speed straights, heady elevation changes and dramatic corners. What is there not to love about today? It's qualifying day here at Spa-Francorchamps.
Hello there everybody, it's Joe here and welcome back to my F1 25 My Team Career Mode. We now carry on here at Spa. This is the Belgian Grand Prix and one of my favourite circuits on the calendar. It was a disaster last time out at Silverstone. The strategy wasn't there, the pace wasn't really there, but we've stuck some upgrades on and now we are ready to go for the second half of this Formula 1 season. It's been a very mixed first half, but I'm hoping for a more positive second half of the season. We've had a couple of biggish results and a couple of points finishes here and there, but let's try and push for more decent results. And round here, the car feels good. More to the point, I'm feeling confident round here. Like I said, it's one of my favourite circuits on the calendar. And I think it shows as we head out of the bus stop, clipping every apex beautifully there. And look at that time, P3, which ends up being P4 for SQ1. But we are nicely through there into the second part of sprint qualifying. Where is our teammate? Oh, Tim. Oh, Tim. SQ2 then, we're pushing on. And this lap feels even better than the first one. And just look at how confidently we're hitting the apexes. And the new upgrades definitely working for us because the car feels on rails here. And look at that, 2 tenths off of Max, P2. That's crazy. Is there a potential for a front row start in this sprint race? Maybe even a pole? Could we do that? Could we achieve that? That would be incredible. But we go for the line and it's not quite there. But P8 still very respectable. And a chance to get some points on the board in this sprint race. So there are positives to take, but it's Lewis Hamilton on pole here, with George Russell second, Tsunoda and Norris third and fourth. And we are alongside Verstappen.
So it's all about speed in today's sprint. Not very many laps and no chance to get ahead on strategy. Who here today has the raw skill to take them to the top? Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting sprint. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position. And starting next to them is George Russell. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Tsunoda, Norris, Oscar Piastri and Leclerc, Verstappen, Maloney, Antonelli and Jack Doohan, Bortoleto, Albon, Ollie Behrman and Sainz, Hülkenberg, Stroll, Esteban Ocon and Fernando Alonso, Hadjar, Gasly, Lawson and Tim Tramnitz. And alongside me in the commentary box, my old friend, Anthony Davidson. Well, they say that a change is as good.
8 laps ahead of us in this sprint race. Where can we finish? We're starting 8th. We are underway. We've made a very nice getaway indeed there. And we're making our way towards the inside. Can we gain positions? Piastri trying to give us a bit of a squeeze, and we've actually made contact with Oscar Piastri there. But we have found our way ahead of him and we've moved up into P6. Piastri 7th and Verstappen behind him P8. So for once Verstappen not dominating things in this F1 25 My Team Career Mode. Heading to the end of the Kemmel Straight for the first time. And we are sitting very nicely in P6. And we're getting ready to attack Charles Leclerc in front of us. Is there going to be a move before the end of the lap? I don't think so. We're having a go there, but nothing in doing. Lap 1 completed. Hamilton leading the way. We're in P6, and we're going to have a look down the inside of La Source and Charles Leclerc, who is just caught napping there. And we have taken the opportunity that has fallen into our laps and moved up into P5. Next up are the battling duo of George Russell and Lando Norris in front of us. Down the Kemmel Straight we go. Russell and Norris are side by side. And I'm having a look at Russell. No, I'm not. I'm going to have a look at Russell around the outside. And we do manage to get past him. Russell covering the inside. And we had to take a last minute to dive to the outside. But that's worked for us. And up into P4. And we are flying forwards here. I tell you what, a top 3 finish is definitely on. How far up can we go? The pace in this car right now is feeling incredible as we slipstream Lando Norris. We're really slipstreaming him. Norris goes to cover, but there's nothing he can do to stop us getting by there. And we move up into P3. And we are now sitting very pretty behind Lewis Hamilton and Yuki Tsunoda. And look at that, we are within DRS range of the pair of them. This is by far our best run all season, and we've genuinely got a chance of winning this sprint race, but we've got to get past them both, and it's not going to be easy, but we're certainly going to give it our best shot. Look, we're within a second of Hamilton now, and this is Yuki Tsunoda going for the sprint lead down the inside of Les Combes, and oh, they're making contact! And Hamilton loses the lead. Tsunoda takes over. And Hamilton down to P2. We're going to try and have a look while he's compromised. But there's no way through there. But look how close we all are. It is so, so close. But I'm just not finding a way to get past Lewis Hamilton. We're going to take a dive down the inside of La Source here. And we've made a bit of contact with Lewis. We've got the move done. We move up into P2. Now we're starting to pressure Yuki Tsunoda. But this is Hamilton coming back at the end. And up into Eau Rouge. Hamilton retaking P2. I'm using overtake to try and get back past Hamilton. No way through there. He's now got DRS. So we're going to kind of have to forget about that one for now. And Hamilton retaking the position, and we just weren't able to get back past Lewis Hamilton, but it's still been a strong drive, worthy of being in the top 3. We've got Charles Leclerc catching on us in this last section of the sprint race, but everything feels fine. I've got him covered. It is going to be a top 3 finish as long as we manage to stay on the road. I'm still trying to catch Hamilton for one last go into the bus stop, but I don't think we're going to be close enough as we head round Stavelot for the final time. And now it is on with overtake. We're just going to drain the battery down this final straight. Can we get close enough to Hamilton to make a lunge? Are we close enough? I don't think so, no. We're not close enough to make that one work. But I'm going to try something anyway. We're going to switch. What side? No. That was always going to be a bit over-ambitious. And we do take a little bit of damage on the back of Lewis Hamilton. But it's still a P3 finish in this sprint. And the strongest sprint race we have had all season. So it's a win in the sprint race for Yuki Tsunoda. Lewis Hamilton taking second. We're in a Ferrari sandwich in third. Leclerc fourth, Norris fifth, Verstappen sixth, and Russell and Antonelli completing your top 8.
High-speed straights, heady elevation changes and dramatic corners. What is there not to love about today? It's qualifying day here at Spa-Francorchamps.
Let's do it all again then. It's time for qualifying and the Grand Prix. And the sprint has given me so much confidence with this race, but qualifying is to be run on very different conditions. The heavens have opened and it is pouring down here, and one of the most terrifying things I do on this game is taking Eau Rouge flat in the wet. That wasn't happening there. We nearly lost the car. It's hard to find the grip in the full wet conditions, and I'm actually finding that I'm really struggling with full wet conditions on this game more. So there's stuff to learn, and I've got to learn to adapt, and that's exactly what I think I will do in time on this game. But so far the lap time just not good enough. However, as the rain starts to ease, we find 2 seconds on this lap alone, and we've managed to move ourselves up into what is P19. But as the rain is easing, I've decided to go on the intermediates and try once again to get a lap in. Into the pits come the cars in front. They've done their bit. Hamilton and Leclerc looking like they're both going to be eliminated at Q1, but we take the fastest time, and it's P1 for Q1. Q2, what can we do here? Again, I've no doubts that we will be able to get through. We have been the only driver to take softs while everyone else was on inters, and the track was drying, and again that has paid off for us. It's P1. I'm looking at this and noticing neither Ferrari, so both Ferraris did indeed go out at Q1, and now this is the final part. This determines where we are on the grid, and we've got some drivers that don't usually appear in Q3 in this session, so that's going to be very interesting, isn't it? It's going to make the race interesting, that's for sure. But where can we end up on the grid? It feels like a good lap. We've had a purple first sector, an okay second sector, heading for the bus stop now. If we can just get ahead of... I'm thinking if we can get into the top 5, I would take that. Out of the bus stop we go. What's the time good for? Okay, I know I said I'd take top 5, but top 6, that's still very acceptable. And it is a bit of a mixed grid. You know, we got Gasly up there, we got Lawson and Stroll up there. But it should be an interesting race ahead of us.
Welcome to this visit to the Ardennes countryside. Spa-Francorchamps hosted its first Grand Prix back in 1925, and this historic track is loved by drivers and fans alike, and us here in the commentary box too. So it's a warm welcome from the Bel... It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. World champion Max Verstappen starts from pole position, and Lando Norris lines up alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Antonelli, Piastri, Pierre Gasly, and Maloney, Tsunoda, Albon, Lawson, and Lance Stroll, Sainz, Fernando Alonso, Isaac Hadjar, and Tramnitz, Hulkenberg, Russell, and Sir Lewis Hamilton, and Charles Leclerc, Ocon, Bortoletto, Behrman, and Jack Doohan rounds off the grid. Well, it's been a long time since I last worked with you. Good to see you again today. Anthony Davidson. Look, we know it's not where you start, it's where you finish. But let's talk about the start now. What's there to help the drivers get away well?
Big pressure at the start of the race, Crofty, for all of them up and down the grid, no matter where you are. But the drivers these days, they practice.
It's time to get the Belgian Grand Prix underway with 22 laps ahead of us. We are go! And it's a very nice launch that we get. Piastri very slow, and so too is Norris. And down the inside of turn 1 we go on Lando, and we've managed to force the issue and move up from P6 to P3. What a brilliant start we've had there. And Norris and Albon are now going to be fighting each other, which helps me out more because it helps me get towards Kimi Antonelli in second place, who's really had a good qualifying, and he's up higher than he normally would be in this game so far. I feel like his stats may need to be buffed a little bit in his favour, because look how much slower than Verstappen he already is. 3 seconds back on lap 1. Yeah, come on, give Antonelli's stats a bit of a boost. Anyway, we're now right behind Antonelli. We got a nice run on the Mercedes, and through we go before we even get to the corner. We've made it into P2. Can we do anything about Max Verstappen? It's going to be difficult because he's already 2.5 seconds up the road, and he is flying at this stage of this Belgian Grand Prix. Meanwhile, this is Albon and Norris having a battle for fourth. This is Albon trying to get past Lando, and Lando just having absolutely none of that. We're now on lap 5. We're pulling away from Antonelli and Norris, but we're not gaining on Verstappen. He's pulling away from us, so it's a bit of a lonely race in P2 at the moment for us, but I'm not complaining. This is a very, very strong position for us. Our best of the season, and even if it's just a very, very boring race for me, P2 would be a phenomenal achievement. And I'm really happy with where we're at. The car feels good. I'm just driving my own race. I'm just vibing at this stage. Meanwhile, we've got Albon, who's fighting Antonelli now, who's just come out of the pits. And look at Tim Tramnitz coming up the inside of everybody. Tramnitz trying to get past. Not quite able to do it, but he does get past Antonelli. Now he's fighting Lewis Hamilton. Not quite able to make it work. We had Antonelli and Albon. Antonelli fresh out of the pits, going side by side. And Tim Tramnitz trying to take the lot of them. Oh, that was a good attempt. Right, we're into the pits for our one and only stop. Literally nothing my end has happened. We're now coming out. We're just going to be a couple of seconds behind Yuki Tsunoda, who has stayed out. And Red Bull could use him to good effect here, because obviously Max has not pitted yet. So they could use Yuki to hold me up to prevent any undercut threats. But look, already by the end of the lap we pitted, we're right there with Tsunoda. So he could, like I said, he could hold us back a little bit, but we've got much fresher tyres. Norris is in the pits, and that's Verstappen now, just coming out of the pits. I'm going down the inside of Tsunoda, and we're taking P2. That's a good move. Verstappen, well, we've caught him a little bit in the pits. It's now 3.8 seconds. Make that 3.7 as we now go round Eau Rouge. The only problem we have now, though, is Tsunoda's going to have DRS. We are not, and we don't have a lot of battery to defend that with. Here comes Yuki Tsunoda now, doing the duty for his teammate and moving into P2, blocking me by moving under braking. That's a bit of a cheeky one for Yuki. And he's putting his car in all the right places, isn't he? As we're going to now try and take him around the outside and take it for the inside of No Name Corner. But we've already got the move done around the outside. But look, that has cost us a second to Max Verstappen. And that second could go on to be crucial. Alex Albon pulling out of the race. His car letting him down. But look at it, we're still entirely all by ourselves here in P2. And the car just feeling like it's on rails. This is a result that was just meant to be for us, wasn't it? And as we start getting into the closing stages, Verstappen at one point had pulled out to about 6.5 seconds. We're now starting to bring the gap down a little bit. Look at it, it's coming down. It's 4.8, 4.7. And little by little, now we're starting to take a chunk out of Max's lead. Has he used his tyres too much? Meanwhile, this is going to be Lando Norris attacking Lewis Hamilton. This is the battle for fourth we're watching. It's really been a bit of a static race, hasn't it? But we're watching Lando Norris now, sizing up Lewis Hamilton, coming up to Eau Rouge and heading for the Kemmel Straight. Norris with the DRS wide open from that detection point, from the activation point, sorry. And here comes Norris down the inside. Hamilton not really able, well, he's trying to fight it off, but he's not really able to fight it off. Lando Norris up to fourth, and now George Russell is coming after him because Russell wants a piece too in the Mercedes. And here he comes now, George Russell getting past the 7-time world champion and moving up into P5. Antonelli, I believe, has also dropped out of the race, which is gutting for him because he qualified so well. But look at the gap to Verstappen now. It's just 3.5 seconds. It's coming down very quickly. We're gaining about a second to a second and a half a lap. If only Tsunoda hadn't held us up, maybe we might have had a spot of DRS on the final lap and been able to have a go. But this is so encouraging from us. Max Verstappen rounding the bus stop. He will take the win here at Spa, but it's going to be P2 and a first podium for Zane Maloney. Oh, what a race, what a drive. Like I said, a bit of a static race, but you know what? In terms of our drive, P2 is amazing.
It's another victory and a champion's performance from Max Verstappen.
And now with 4 race victories in a row, Crofty, it shows the power that they have, this stranglehold on the championship, and it's for the others to try and stop them before it's too late.
What a day it's been for Formula One, and what a day it's been for these 3 drivers. Time for the podium celebrations. Time for our drivers to celebrate. But there can only be one on the top step. Your number 1, Max Verstappen. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action, and I can't wait to see what's next.
Max Verstappen taking the win, but look at that, P2. Fantastic drive and a fantastic result. Just under 2 seconds off of Max, and over half a minute to the next car. That is insane, the level of pace A, Max has, and B, that we had all through that race. And it just shows how much in that race we were just able to push and the tyres lived with it. So the tyre wear upgrades that we've bought are definitely working. Tsunoda gets 3rd, Norris gets 4th, Russell 5th, Hamilton, Sainz, Leclerc, Ocon and Gasly are your final point scorers in this Belgian Grand Prix. And the fastest lap goes to Charles Leclerc. Like I said, I was just amazed that we were able to keep pushing and the tyres were able to live with it. And that has now moved Zane Maloney to P9 in the Drivers' Championship. But Verstappen still extending that lead. It's a matter of when over if he wins this first season of F1 25 My Team Career Mode. Charles Leclerc is 3rd in the standings behind Tsunoda. Then it's Hamilton, Norris, Russell, Piastri, Sainz, Maloney and Antonelli rounding out the top 10. Antonelli could have scored some pretty big points here. And in the Constructors, I'm fairly sure this has just helped us retain 6th place and pull away from Aston Martin. Thank you so much for watching this instalment of Career Mode. Please leave a like and hit subscribe if you're new and you want to see more content from me. Until the next time, I've been Joe. TTFN, ta-ta for now, take care, enjoy the rest of your day.